I'ma do it tonight. So what my eye, that moment I visualize is coming. If you could see me now, see I'm gonna break through the life I knew. Been waiting, a dream come true. Still aiming. If you could see me now, if you could see me now.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I want to do something a little special for you guys today. I actually am going to be attempting to do 2 hobby videos this week, starting off with this one. I didn't get to do one last week because I honestly ran out of time. This video was supposed to come out last Friday, but here we are. And if all goes well, I will have an overdressed video out for you guys tomorrow. Well, let's talk about what we're doing today. So, we've got a new Yugioh video here today, and I'm going to be playing with a deck that I used to play many years ago, and it has recently gotten some new cards and some updates, and the deck's kind of crazy. A friend of mine played me with it and absolutely trashed me, so I thought I'd do a video for it today. And that deck is Madolche. If you are a fan of Madolche, come check out these games. They're a little bit on the longer side, about 10 minutes a piece, but I promise they're worth the watch. This is the build we're going to be going with today. He actually had me try to experiment with a couple cards for him, and shit got wild. I do make some misplays because I was trying to figure the deck out, but I did think I got a good handle on it. So let's jump in, let's check it out. If you guys enjoy this type of video, please drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I do hobby videos every week, and I would really appreciate your support. But let's check out the video. Alright, in both of these matches, we got to go second. Up first, we went against Rocket Dragon Maid. He starts off with kind of a weird play by playing 2 of these to just summon rockets out of his deck. I thought that'd be broken for Rocket Dragon Maid, but he kind of goes a little underwhelming. I don't decide to negate any monster effects because I don't actually know very much about the rockets, so I just figured I'd wait and see what he does. I know what that does. We played that in our Dragon Maid deck. Now he's going to get to search for a spell. I honestly just wanted to let him overextend. Having the Herald of Orange Light and the Infinite Impermanence in hand, I felt pretty safe going into my turn. But I wanted to see what he was going to do, what he was going to throw at me. You know, Dragon Maid Hospitality lets him summon another one from hand or grave. He doesn't have any in his grave, so from hand, obviously. Now, the spell card. Now he bounces Dragon Maid back to hand to add the fusion spell back to hand. And then he immediately plays it to get out his Dragon Maid fusion, which is a good card as an Omni Negate by basically killing off its, training itself out for the Dragon Maid fusion. Not necessarily the Dragon fusion. But this is what he ends up on, and it's a pretty underwhelming board. But I almost screw it up. I started off by infinite impermanenting his monster because it's an Omni Negate. I figured I'd force the negate out now. He ends up going for the negate. Now, I'm going to pause real quick. He goes for the negate, and I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I don't decide to immediately follow up with Herald of Orange Light. If I could go back, I would, but I felt like I needed to save the negate for something else. This was the first misplay I made. So yeah, I even look at it and I'm just like, nah, it's not worth it. But now he swaps it out for the Dragon Maid fusion, and he gets his dragon back from the grave. And I'm just like, what did I do? And then I decided to Herald of Orange like this, and I discard the wrong card. I wanted to discard the Pudding Cess, not the Pudding Cessor. At least, thankfully, Power Prosperity is actually pretty amazing in this deck. There's a lot of your extra deck cards that you can live without, and you only really need 1 or 2 cards to really go off, so being able to search that top 6 is silly. And I realize in this game that this spell card is psychotic. Madolche Salon is nuts. And I'm pretty excited because I don't know if you guys saw the new Cyber Dark card that got announced yesterday, today? Time of recording, I said it was yesterday. But they basically got their own continuous spell card that does something similar to what this does. So I start off by activating Salon and normal summoning Hoot Cake. Now, he must not know what Salon does because he immediately Tributes off, Heradic, bounces back, Hoop Cake, and I can just normal summon Hoop Cake back out. He does get Nurse, which does kind of suck, but we get Ticket. We get Ticket because him bouncing it triggered Salon, which lets us set up a Madolche Speller Trap. And now we go into our plays. I decided to get rid of Orange Light out of the grave for the banishment cost, because I figured it's probably smarter to leave the Madolche card, the Madolche monster, in the graveyard. Now, I go with Angeli, because I figured Angeli could get me into more special summons. I realized, again, that was a mistake. I should have went with Pudding Cessor, which is what I do now, and then I end up getting Messenger Lotto. Now, another thing here that trips me up, Ticket and its ability to special summon a monster as long as you control a fairy. I was not used to having that. Back when I played this deck, the only fairies we had was here, Masu and Pudding Cess. So it really threw me off having more fairies and being able to use that special summon. So you actually see in both games where I don't use that special summon as much as I should have. So from here, I go into Tiramisu. I don't know. Maybe I thought I could push for game, but that was a mistake on my part. I should have went with Glass Souffle and just slowed the game down. But I did go with Tiramisu to start taking cards off of his board. In reality, I should have went Glass Souffle and to start, but mistakes happen. I get both of these back to my hand, and I spin two of his cards. Bung. And bung. And then I go to battle phase. He uses Nurse's effect to tag out Nurse for a bigger dragon, but the dragon that Nurse gets is actually weaker than Tiramisu thanks to the field spell that we searched out earlier. Do some damage. Again, it was kind of an underwhelming turn. I could have done a lot better. I could have set up more defensive plays. I could have set up a negate if I had paid attention. But I was just worried about trying to do things. But, like I said, Salon is bonkers, and you're going to see why in a couple seconds. He starts doing all kinds of shenanigans to get his fusion back out. He just got his fusion spell back by bouncing back his monster. Now he's making his fusion again. The fusion's pretty big, sitting at 35 with an Omni-Gate. It's a really good card. But here's what he does that bugs me out. So he swings at Sistart. Sistart's effect lets me send back a Madolche monster to stop him from being destroyed by battle. But because I have Chateau, I can return it to my hand instead. Now it triggers both Ticket and Salon. Ticket gets me another monster search. Salon lets me set a spell or trap. So we search out Mageline for my next turn. Again, right here, I could have special summoned, but I didn't. That was my fault. But we get the new Madolche trap. That trap card is bonkers. Don't let anybody tell you different. For anybody that doesn't know what that trap card does, you can bounce a Madolche monster you control or from your graveyard back to the deck to negate any card on the field, any face-up card on the field. Yes, card. Spell, trap, it doesn't matter. Or monster. It's a ridiculous card and it gets negated till the end of turn. And then it also has a graveyard effect. Okay, so if it's in your graveyard, you banish this and you can attach a Madolche monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard to that monster as a material. That's bonkers. Moving on. So we go back to the same play we started off with last turn where we attempted to start the turn by negating his monster effect. We were gonna bounce back Sistar, but he negates it and summons back out the other Dragon Maid Fusion. already got rid of the Omni Negate. Now he basically can't stop any of my plays. He goes for a search, not a search, a foolish, and we end up stopping it with Ash Blossom. He summons another Dragon, he just floods his board. And we do cool guy stuff. Gets to search another spell because he summoned that one. But now we start off with Madolche. We attempt to get a search. He negates it with Ash Blossom. And we know the last card in his hand. It's the spell card he just searched. So we just go ham. Now we use our second normal summon for Pudding Cessor. I kind of bugged out here. I was like, why didn't I get the special summon? But Pudding Cessor only gives you a special summon when it's special summoned. So we go into Glass Souffle. We activate Tiramisu here. Tiramisu sends cards back to deck, so I got to send the trap card too. Bam. Got the monster back to hand, got rid of 2 monsters off his board, triggered Salon and Ticket, sent a trap card, search a monster. It is crazy. The fact that it triggers on both players' turns is just nutty. You can set yourself up so easily. Grab the Angeli this time in case I need to combo. This time I special summoned it because I was going for a second Tiramisu. Also, I needed to get level 4 onto the board. So I decided to use Glass Souffle here to send more cards back. So now we use Madolche. We decide to make Sistar unaffected by opponent's cards. And then we use that to bounce back the monster we just sent. So we get the Madolche back, and because Glass Souffle is Psycho, we get back the Ash Blossom too. You can actually use her to recycle your hand traps really, really well. It's crazy. We special summon the Pudding Cessor now that we have no monsters in the graveyard. And we use Pudding Cessor to get out Messenger Gelato, which searches us our Madolche trap card. So we end up with 2 we almost end up with 2 negates. I think because Messenger Gelato lost a level in missed timing, because we already got our use out of the Sistar we had and the Messenger Gelato, we just make another Sistar just to get monsters into the graveyard, so we can end up using Tiramisu because you need previous target. We bounce back the rest of his monsters, swing for game. Bung, bung, and bung. That was game 1. Like I said, I made a couple misplays. I definitely try to tighten it up in game 2. But the next game should be more fun because we're actually playing up against Shadal Invoked. It was pretty crazy. Again, we got to go second this time. Sorry for this little delay. I thought I'd chop this up a little more. Magical Meltdown, Alistair, typical plays. This one was weird. I kind of ignored this card the whole game. I don't even know what it does. He never actually did anything with it. But then he immediately goes for Invocation. I'm okay with it. Gets rid of Nibiru, which is good for us, very good for us, and he makes a Construct. I was expecting, a window, but I had impermanent, so I wasn't really scared of it. Get to search, get to dump. Use Taco to set a monster. Oh, he sent himself. My bad. I don't really know all the Shadal cards that much. I know the basics. So again, we start off this one with Pot of Prosperity because this card is pretty bonkers. We don't need a whole lot of chocolate on modes. We definitely don't need Rafflesia since we're going second. And there's Salon. Now, if you look at our hand is pretty garbage. So we decided to go with Angeli just to get our combos going. because now we get to summon Angeli. Angeli to get Hoot Cake. No, we don't want to ash ourselves. Hoot Cake banishes Angeli. Now, again, here's another misplay, because I'm stupid. But it's because I wanted to go for Glass Souffle. But we instead of getting Pudding Cessor, we get Messenger Lotto straight up. We should have got Pudding Cessor, which would have got us Messenger Lotto anyway, and we would have had an extra monster to work with. But that's neither here nor there. We get Salon. Salon gives us our extra normal summon. We normal summon the Messenger Lotto in our hand to get 2 level 4s. I only realized after doing this that I could have done basically the same thing and, again, had an extra monster. So now we're going to go into Glass Souffle. Again, I'm not sure if this was a good idea right away because, you know, we didn't get rid of the construct. But I forgot that Glass Souffle can make something unaffected by monster effects. So it's just, I could have maybe done better with that. But again, still figuring out all the cards. Now, I made her unaffected for this turn, but now I'm going to use her effect to bounce Messenger Lotto and Invocation back to the deck. I can't remember 100%, but I believe Invocation, they can get Invocation once they banish it. Or it's Alistair that gets it back. But I figured it would just be better off in the deck anyway. So now we get Ticket, which starts getting us our monster searches. And if you look at the rest of our hand, I activate Ticket and set 3. Now, if I had done the proper play, I would have also had Assist Start, ending my turn, which protects your back row as long as it's pointed to a Madolche monster. My bad. But I still felt pretty safe with the 3 set cards. End up letting him get the monster. Ash to Alistair. So no searchy search. He looks in Anaconda, of course, because of course he does. I don't immediately negate its effect. I want him to pay the cost. Send Super Poly. That immediately got me scared, so I was just like, you know what, Infinite Permanence, don't want to deal with that. He attempts to change one of the attribute of one of my monsters. That one I know better to just not activate anything and just ignore it. And he proceeds to battle phase where he attacks. Now, this was a misplay on my part. I thought, for some reason I misread Promenade and I thought it would bounce back his monster, but it bounced back one of mine. So I negated his monster's effects and bounced back Hoot Cake to my hand. That was my bad. But it also does trigger Ticket and Salon, so it gets me a search and a set. So even though I'm going to lose Glass Souffle, because I would have lost Glass Souffle by battle anyway, it lets me, you know, recover my place. If the card came active, I could have got the field spell and saved Glass Souffle, but it doesn't. So, it's okay. Again, I could have special summoned the Madolche. I wouldn't have got the search. But again, I forget to use Ticket. Or I could have summoned Pudding Cessor and then got something else out. Lots to learn. But I do use Glass Souffle before it dies to send cards back. I send Alistair back to his deck, and I send Messenger Lotto to my hand. Oh, no, back to the deck. Whoa. Okay. I don't have the field spell. That's the part of the setup I'm missing. Now, we have another Promenade face down, so we do already have a monster negate. He sets 1. And now we kind of have to disassemble his board. So we kind of go ham here. We got materials in the grave to use for Hoot Cake. We activate our field spell. And now we go off. Normal summon Madolche. Search. We don't get ashed. I don't remember exactly why I searched Pudding Sussor here, but I did. Tiramisu. Send back 2. Now, get rid of the construct because the construct would have just destroyed my monster. And I get rid of his face down monster. I know it has a flip effect, but I know it's not really that scary, but I was working on clearing his board. So, you know the deal. Search and search. Except this time, we're going to special summon the Angeli. Because remember this time. And we're going to get another Madolche trap card. Because Promenade is stupid. Activate Angeli to get Hoot from the deck. Since we haven't special summoned Pudding Sussor yet, we actually banished the Angeli to get Pudding Sussor. Go ahead, don't hesitate, summon it. And then Pudding Sussor gets us another monster. This time we purposely grabbed Pudding Suss because Pudding Sussor reduces the level of the monster it summons by 1. So we got Pudding Suss to make it a level 4, so we can make another Tiramisu. I'm not 100% how to use that card yet, so that's why I skipped out on it. Gravedigger's Trap Hole is actually a great card to use against hand traps, though it does have to be face down first. Oh, I went into Glass Souffle. I'm sorry, I lied to you. I got back Ash Blossom again because Glass Souffle is silly. But I think the reason I didn't go into Tiramisu here is because I wasn't sure I could finish the game with what I had. So I just went safe than sorry. Because now, after I do this on my battle phase, I actually use Hoot Cake and Tiramisu to make Sif start. I actually remember this now. Which leaves me pretty safe. Sif start can't be destroyed by battle. I can make it unaffected by monster effects. Neither one can be destroyed by card effects. He tries to use this. Versatile Incarnation. And as I said, Promenade is silly. So rather than give him a chance to get a monster back, I just negate it straight up. Bouncing back Tiramisu. And that's how I end my turn. We already have another Promenade face down, so we already have another negate. And we are just chilling. He goes to get another Alistair, and we're just like, nah, Ash Blossom. Oh no, we promenaded it. Sorry, I recorded this a couple days ago, so I'm a little off. But again, we trigger all of our effects again. At this point, I'm almost out of monsters. I don't even know what to search. So we special summon an Angeli, and we set another our third Promenade. And our opponent quits the duel. Like I said, I made a lot of misplays. I was really trying hard to figure the deck out. Those were like, I think, my second and third game trying the deck out. First one I didn't really get to finish, that's why I didn't record it. But as you can see, the deck gets bonkers. Salon was an amazing addition for the deck. It really helps get things going. Pudding Tester is annoyingly good, and Promenade is a problem. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of this video. Let me know what you guys would think of the deck. If you guys want to think I should try out any techs in it that you guys might know. If there's another deck you guys want me to try out, let me know in the comments. If you guys want to check me out on social media, those links will also be down below. But that's it from me, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with the next video. Later.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I'll make mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning.